Okay guys, here I am in another game. I've finally taken the pilot seat. So, on how to play the pilot is very interesting because you can't see crap. All you know is to steer the ship and look forwards. In order to know what's going on behind you and to your right and to your left, you're either going to have to take a quick peek, which means taking your eyes off the road, or rely on your teammates. As I said before, you have a voice over IP system in this game, meaning you can communicate with the crew and with fellow captains. Communicating with your crew is of utmost importance. You have to know what they're doing, you have to be able to tell them what you need done, and you have to be able to ask them, hey, do you see the enemy boats anywhere at any time? Now, I'm flying a Pyramidion right now, and I'm taking a lot of fire, literally, from this goldfish. Pyramidion is one of the faster and more easy to manage ships in the game, so if you're going to play this game, I highly recommend you start using either the Pyramidion or the goldfish. Those two are very good, they're easy to steer, they're fast, they react quickly to catastrophes that happen, like right now. Oh god, my balloon is going down, what is going on? But yeah, captaining the ship, it's very interesting. Now, to fly the ship itself, oh god, he just came in for a ram there. To fly the ship itself, you use the W, A, S, and D keys. W and S do not do what you think they do. W and S merely change your elevation. It allows you to go up or to go down, respectively. A and D changes your course heading, left or right. Now, in order to move forwards or backwards, what you do use is, you see that little circle on the right hand side there? That is your accelerator decelerator mechanism. Now, to use that, you press R and F. R turns the handle up, which obviously leads to acceleration, and F turns the handle down, which leads to deceleration all the way into reverse. Keep in mind though, it doesn't turn on a dime. What happens is that as you shift from forward to backwards, the ship has to compensate. It has to first slow down and then change direction. Obviously, if you're taking a lot of damage, you're not going to want to do that as often. Now, turning. Turning, if you're going on full speed, obviously you're not going to turn that quickly. So if you're going to turn, I recommend turning your engine off or turning it into the opposite direction. Like if I'm moving forward and I want to make a hard turn, I can either turn the engine off and then turn, or what I normally do is put it into full reverse and then turn. Because I put it into full reverse, the engine is pulling me backwards while I'm turning to assist with my turn, basically. Now here you see I turned the engine off just because I just want to keep momentum moving forward while taking a good hit on this guy. Now I turned it into full reverse to give myself some space. I don't think I do very well in this game right now, but that doesn't matter. I'm here to show you how to fly. As you guys can see from the schematics, if you guys remember from the schematics, there was various gun emplacements. Gun emplacements on the Pyramidion, you have two front guns, and one side gun and one gun at the rear. I need the two front guns up at all time, as you can see there. The two front guns are obviously the damage dealers, so you're gonna want something that's pretty hefty. That was just a quick map press there to see where my ally was, because obviously if you don't know where your ally is, you can't coordinate with them and then stuff goes to hell. I think that's actually all about it for the piloting, so I will just crash and burn. Oh god. Side note, for the Pyramidion, you really don't want to be caught between two boats. Actually, if you're any boat, you do not want to be caught between two boats, because then things end badly. Oh god. And suddenly my gunners are gone, they're down repairing stuff. See, communication. Communication is key, and you have to listen to each other. all the time. Oh god, they were lighting me on fire. And he's gonna ram into me, isn't he? Yep. Boom. And that's it. Oh god, that was so bad. Score is 1-4. Wow, this was a really bad match. Holy cow. Now obviously when you die, you just respawn within a matter of seconds and you can get back into the fight. Here I am just trying to tell my guys I need them on the guns, or I need them on engineering, or yada yada yada. Oh, I forgot about the perks. So if you notice at the bottom of the screen, I have 4 icons. One that looks like a wheel, one that looks like a claw, one that looks like a can, and the other one that looks like a shield. If you guys remember from the first video, those are the different perks and abilities as a pilot that I have. I can use them at any time during the map. They only have a cooldown, or they're only effective for however long I'm using them. Okay, now I've finally gotten to another game where I will be playing as the gunner. So, gunner, obviously you shoot things. So I make a beeline straight for the main gun, and I immediately switch to what looks like incendiary rounds. That's actually a big mistake. Incendiary rounds are better for weapons that have a lot of ammunition, like a Gatling gun or a flak cannon, because incendiary rounds are what they sound like. They light stuff on fire. If you only have one bullet, if you miss, that's not going to do a lot. Which is why I immediately switch to heatsink rounds and I pull out my telescope. The telescope is very interesting because you have to spot. You have to spot where the ships are, especially in all this cloud cover. Your pilot's not going to be able to see anything except what's within, say, like 5 feet of your ship. With all these clouds, he or she is not going to be able to fly well, which is why you need gunners and engineers to spot enemy ships, like I just did there, and mark them, which I immediately unload on heatsink rounds. The reason my main default is heatsink rounds is because so many ships out there use flamethrowers. Obviously, if you're using flamethrowers, your guns are going to be useless. Unless you have heatsink rounds, which makes them fire resistant. Which is why I default to that. My secondary ammunition would be the charge rounds, which do a lot more damage. They slow down your firing rate, but only by 15%, so it's not that much. But they increase damage by 30%. If I'm peppering someone from far away, obviously I'll use the higher damage rounds. But if they get closer, I switch to heatsink, which increases your capacity, your ammunition capacity, and provides fire resistance. Now the key to being a gunner is you have to calculate. You have to aim ahead of them. If they're coming at you, you might have to aim up a little bit higher. If they're going farther away, I mean if they're coming up to you, you might want to aim more directly at them. If they're coming up higher than you, you're going to want to arc up, because most of the heavy rounds you're going to be firing follow an arc. They're going to start out ascending and then descending. Now here I'm firing on the galleon. I'm trying. See, that's what happens when you aim directly at them. They're moving away or you're moving away, so you have to aim at where they're going to be relative to you, which is why I'm starting to fire off targeting shots. What do I mean by targeting shots? By targeting shots, I mean I'm aiming a little bit over them and a little bit under them to try and gauge where they are in relativity to me. Once I can gauge where they are in relativity to me, I can get a better aiming solution on them. But of course, a gunner is useless without the pilot. If the pilot can't fly, if the pilot can't maintain a steady ship, then the gunner's not going to be able to hit anything. Which is why I'm really grateful I had a really good pilot here, really good engineers to keep my guns running at all times.
You're on it like Onyx.
See here? I'm trying to aim ahead of him so that he will run into my rounds. I'm not doing so well, but that's because he's already dead.
Man,
see,
he done goofed right there.
As a gunner, I highly recommend you take the telescope with you. Some people don't like to use that. I do, just because it's interesting. It's very good to spot. and I'm just gonna let him have it right now. I think that will be it for my Guns of Icarus spotlight for Multiplayer Mondays. Thank you for joining me. I will come out again. I'll try to take these out on a regular, weekly basis. Oh yeah, take that, yeah, Galleon. I'll try to come out with these like at least once a week. But if I can't, don't fret. It's just that I don't have a lot of multiplayer games up right now that aren't already vastly overpopulated, that aren't already vastly overexposed, like games like PlanetSide 2 or TF2. I'm not gonna do that. So to end this off, I'll just leave you off with some music from Guns of Icarus. Bye bye.
They're both down below.
Why?